So we're driving back to the airport after our trip, and we are reflecting on what went well, what didn't do so great, but ultimately we had a great trip. We're going to start with where we started and then where we ended, and then provide an overall summary of the trip itself. Before we get into that, I want to share this is my second time coming to Costa Rica. It's my husband's first. And my first time was in 2017 in November. So big difference in months and weather in a sense. But I did come to 2 of the 4 places that I went to the first time. So the first time I went to Costa Rica, we started in Jaco, I believe. Then we went to San Jose, visited for the day, and then we went to Tamarindo and ended in La Fortuna. So every time everyone asks me about going to Costa Rica that first time, I would say do not go to all those locations unless you have time, because it's about 4 hours in between each destination. And if you ever go to La Fortuna, the roads are very windy and steep and dark, and it was raining when we arrived. So you want to make sure that you have enough time to explore the different areas. For this trip, we started in La Fortuna and then went to Tamarindo and heading back to Liberia. So let's chat about La Fortuna. What did you like about La Fortuna?
It's really I like many things about La Fortuna. First of all, they're rich biodiversity. They have a lot of rainforest, very excited about them. And they have all those animals, sloths, monkeys, lots of exotic bird species. I even downloaded an app to identify some of them. I took pictures, but they didn't have them in their database. That means that I did that with two apps. They couldn't identify them. That means those bird species are pretty rare. I think that's something that is really amazing. The only thing is the driving situation, but I was fine with it because when we first got here, we didn't have connection, and we had a map, but the map was not really working great for us because the map didn't have too many details, and the signs they have signs, but not the signs as well are not very detailed, very I mean, they are accurate, but you don't have too many details. You don't have too much information. But apart from that, it was a very nice experience, very enjoying experience. I also like the other things they have as things that you can do, like ziplining. It was my first time ziplining, but it was epic. They have those high, very long lines, and that's one thing that you can really enjoy to the fullest if you are into traveling and choose to come here in Costa Rica. And also the food they have, like fruits, for example. The fruits are most of them are delicious. Like the mangoes, obviously you have to know how to pick the right ones. There are bananas. The bananas are really sweet, really they are bio. I'm talking for experience in La Fortuna. I don't know for everywhere else. And also the yuccas. I'm from Haiti, and yuccas we have there are pretty good. But the ones I had in La Fortuna, that's the first time I had such great yuccas. Besides yuccas from Haiti. That's a bit about it for me.
Yeah, so it was raining, as I said, when we were going up the mountain, and we didn't have any service. So our service from US did not cross over very well. So we usually land in certain countries and it crosses over into the connection, but with our service, it didn't do that. So we're trying to navigate to La Fortuna, which is 4 hours from Liberia, with no cell information. So we had to stop essentially at every gas station to try to get there and ask if they have Wi-Fi. Can we put in the directions on your phone and you tell us how to get there, or show us, and can we take a screenshot? So it ended up being a 7-hour process to get to the...
You said 7?
Yes, it was 7 hours. We landed at 4.
I would say, well, at what time did we get there? Like 11 or 10 or 11?
11.
Oh, okay.
It was about a 7 hour process to get to a location that should have took 4 hours. So got there, which was great. We just glad to have made it because we were pretty lost throughout the whole trip. It was rainy, so it rained most of the days, and then Thursday it stopped raining. So we arrived the 19th to 28th. That's the duration of the trip. Stayed there the 19th to the 23rd, and so it was very rainy. We did zip lining in the rain. They said rain or shine, so we were zip lining in the rain. The views were beautiful, but that rain was hitting my face and it was hurting. But towards the end of the zip line, it stopped raining, and it was great. Yes. Right. So it was a great trip. The food was great. A lot of fish and fried fish and rice and beans, salad. That's kind of what we ate most of the trip, and then fruits as well. Other things about La Fortuna, a lot of attraction sites outside, lines and lines of resorts and big hotels, and then also we went to the hot springs. So this was a public hot spring. Someone had opened the gate and people could just go and sit in the hot springs. So we saw most of the people there. So if you go to La Fortuna, you don't have to pay for a hot spring. In fact, there were reviews, people saying that you can just go to the free one. It's way more worth it than the other ones. So that was La Fortuna.
Well, another thing, the people here are really friendly as well. They are respectful, they are friendly, and it's safe. I think that's one thing which is crucial when you are traveling. You need safety, and it's safe here. But not only we heard it from other travelers, we experienced that ourselves. Even in places when we're driving through places that were kind of dark, but you see kids and people of all ages walking in the streets, like even pretty, I would say, late at night. We saw those things. So I would really encourage someone. I would really encourage. Recommend it here. It's really pretty and it's safe, and honestly, couldn't ask for better.
Yes. So La Fortuna. Next destination we went to is Playa Grande, which is close to Tamarindo. So we got an Airbnb in La Fortuna, and then we got one here in Tamarindo, or Playa Grande. And so getting to this destination was much easier because we had service. We actually bought one SIM card, so for 15 days, $9 to use the service, which is great. So I have a Costa Rican SIM card to use, and I can use it to navigate. The one thing about navigation, you should use Google Maps. Apple Maps will not work at all. It'll let you look at the destination, but it will not navigate you there. So make sure you have Google Maps on your phone or Waze.
Yeah, that's what they use. It seems like that's what they use mostly here.
Right. So make sure to download your apps before you come and check with your service about if it's truly going to cross over. But in any case, you may just consider getting a SIM card as soon as possible anyways. Don't get lost like we did. It was not enjoyable.
We had to stop at the gas station twice to ask for direction, and it wasn't really fun. It was that. we still made it, but we didn't have to lose that much. We didn't have to waste that much time. Especially that was dark and raining. So something to really consider.
Yeah, so I'll give my feedback about Tamarindo Playa Grande first, and then chat about it. So Playa Grande is, to me, a small town. There's a lot of rustic, open fields kind of view, little mountains, but not mountainous like La Fortuna. The trees are not as green. They're still green, but the terrain is pretty dry.
Beaches, though. Beach.
Yeah, but the beaches, by the beaches, plants are flourishing.
They have a lot of.
The difference with the weather, La Fortuna was like 75, maybe 80, including the rain. Here, 90 plus. So big difference with the weather. Dry heat. It's not humid, although our Airbnb host said that it could get pretty humid, which he says wet versus dry heat. So it was very dry. We went to Tamarindo, and I was excited to go because when I came the first time, that was a city that I really enjoyed. Tamarindo is a city type area, but by the beach. So it's a city type beach area. So a lot of attractions and those things, and souvenir stores and restaurants, and people just laid out on the beach. We saw quite a bit of people. When it comes to Tamarindo Beach, it is really hot. So make sure you either bring your own beach umbrella or get an umbrella from somebody. We paid $15, or was it 20?
20.
We paid $20 for an umbrella and a chair to sit out. But when I arrived, my feet were burning in the sand, and I was like, we have to get something where I can sit and we have an umbrella because it's just too hot. So you'll want to make sure you get that. Beach area was nice. They have a lot of restaurants. It's more developed than when I came in 2017, which is great. One thing you want to keep in mind, though, in the major cities, the prices are going to be hiked. So restaurants getting seafood much higher than where it would be getting from a restaurant, Playa Grande. So first night we arrived, you went to a restaurant. It was $28 for 2 people. Last night we went out to eat in Playa Brasa.
It was close to Playa Bracelito.
Yeah, so we went there, and for one dish is $35.
Well, I'm so satisfied though, because if you got that in the US, the fish was humongous, and we had salad. It wasn't bad. I'm so satisfied. It's just that here, if you're considering it here, it's, I think we'd be way lower on a vacation. But we're still fine. Yeah, it was still fine because I had a big fish, a salad, and the side wasn't too bad. I mean, it wasn't bad at all. It was.
So we paid about $60 for that meal. So you see the difference between going to kind of I guess they would call in America brick and mortar restaurants, like a homemade, home-built restaurant, versus going to a major restaurant
like a touristic area.
Right.
I think that's what made the difference.
A lot of tourists were flowing through there. So we enjoyed Tamarindo. But the day before, or a couple days before, we went to Playa Bracelito, and then we met this group, this families, probably like 10 of them, and they told us about another beach which you could walk to. So we walked the beach to the next beach, which was called Playa Concha. So this beach was full of shells, versus the other one we went to was just sand, and so really beautiful. The water though was very forceful, so it can easily take you.
Cleaner.
The water was clear for sure. So yes, and then went to Tamarindo, spent the day practically, and then kind of relaxed at the hotel. A lot of driving we've been doing for this trip, so it's been good. Another thing, you'll see a lot of natural animals as you're driving. So you'll see horses, wild horses, and you'll see wild cows and those things. Anything you want to add about the trip down here?
I would say you have a lot of beaches up here, which is great. You have a lot of oceans to that, and that's amazing. And each one is nicer than the other one. Like the last beach we went to, what was that one again? In Tamarindo. I don't remember the name, but that one was really nice. The water was not as clear as in Chat. What the sand? The sand was great. The sand was even in the ocean. We had sand, and on the shore we had sand that didn't have rocks or anything like that. It was just pure sand, pure soft, nice sand, and that's something that I'm looking forward to doing again. I really enjoy it, and that's good.
Overall thoughts on the trip. What would you say overall? Quick summary overall the trip.
It was a nice experience. I loved it. And if I had to, it's two different areas between the mountains and the down the hill. Down the hill here you have the beaches. They're really nice. Na Fortuna it's more like I would say laid back, and it's cooler, it's more forest, it's everything. I mean, everything is still close here. Everything's closer at La Fortuna. I wouldn't pick between any of them because I love the beach, I love the nature as well. So I would say that was a great combination. So I would say they have everything here. They have everything they need to be happy, if I can say it like that. And I was happy for the few days that we stayed here. That's my thing of the day.
So last year we went to Jamaica, and if I were to say when I go back to Jamaica, when I go back to Costa Rica, I would come back to Costa Rica. So Jamaica was great, but the different areas you're able to come to in Costa Rica is totally different. I like the fact that we can speak Spanish and communicate. Not that there's a different language in Jamaica, but it's just, for me, I enjoy being around the Spanish culture. And yes, people are friendly. And if we could stay longer, we'd love to, but still fine with going back to the States and have another trip. Our host at Playa Grande was great. I'm going to show some video footage of their property. I'm going to link also their link to Airbnb. We originally booked the treehouse not knowing that it's completely just a room. Yes, there's an air conditioner, but you don't have your own shower nor toilet. It's outside. So he generously moved us to a cabin. So glad that happened because I would not have enjoyed that, especially in hot weather. You want to cool down quite often. So overall, I would say it was a great trip and would love to come back. Hopefully this vlog encourages you to get outside of your comfort zone, travel. Do not stay in Los Angeles. Get out and do some things and look at the world. And don't be afraid of what might happen, all that. Sure, we use our safety and discretion, but there's so much to explore, even outside of California, outside of where you live. I do hope you stay connected. Do hit the like button and tell me about where you're traveled to and where we should travel to next. We've already been thinking about where to go. We're wanting to make it the annual thing in February. So thanks for connecting and watching, and we'll chat again soon.
Ciao, ciao.